Hear me now? Nice, we are live. Hey guys, I am James Hake. This is the Hake Report. It's Sunday, September 29th, 2019. Last few days of September. Last few days to, by the way, oh, you remember I was blown out? I wonder if I'm blown out. Guys, let me know if I'm blown out. Last week, I think. Remember last week? The audio was crunchy. I think I texted you about it. Like, the audio was kind of rough because I think it was too high. I'm getting the feel, for some reason, I'm reminded of that. So, guys, let me know if I'm blown out. By blown out, I mean, like, my voice is crunchy. Like, over whatever. You guys, some of you guys know audio. Anyways. It's Sunday, September 29th, 2019, and it's 9 a.m. Pacific time, almost. At 9, we're going to start the real show, but I'm just starting early, like always. It is Joel's here, Dylon's here, answering the phones. Thank you, guys. And, good. He Black says, no, man, you ain't blown out. So, I want to read some quick news for you guys. And I am streaming on YouTube, Periscope, D Live, Mixer, Twitch, and even Facebook. Facebook is hell, but I'll get into that later, maybe. So let me read some news for you, because that's a Hake news, right? You can podcast the show afterwards on audio only or video, whatever your choice, via thehakereport.com/podcast. I have it up on iTunes, which is now Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher, and of course I upload it on SoundCloud. So, Netanyahu, if you're interested, Drudge reports Netanyahu is to meet the centrist rival in a last-ditch bid to form a unity government. And I've been reporting about this for a while. Bibi/Benjamin, aka Benjamin Netanyahu, is the prime minister of Israel. He's been there forever, longer than any other prime minister ever. I mean, the country is only, 60, 70, 80 years old? Kind of like China. Anyways, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will make a final effort this week, according to Reuters, reporting from Jerusalem, to form a unity government with his rival, because the country is, split. It's like America, but with America, we have the Electoral College or something, and we don't form the government the way that they do. So they got an inconclusive ballot on a September 17th election, and that's the second one this year. The first one was back in April. He couldn't form a unity government back then either. So and Netanyahu also faces a looming indictment on corruption allegations that he denies. So who knows what the truth is, right? And 6 months ago, he couldn't form that government. His right-wing Likud party came in with second place with about 32 seats in the 120 with a 120 member parliament against 33 for former military chief Benny Gantz, who with the centrist blue and white party. When they say centrist, I read that to be a liberal. Okay. So with neither party leader able to put his own coalition for a ruling majority, Israel's president, not to be confused with prime minister, on Wednesday asked Netanyahu to form the next government in the hope of securing a power sharing deal between the Blue and White Party and Likud, which is Netanyahu's party. If Netanyahu fails to clinch a deal, President Reuven Rivlin is then likely to ask Benny Gantz, the liberal guy, probably a socialist, they call him centrist, to form a government, though he, like Netanyahu, has no clear path to power. They met Friday without success, each side blaming the other for the stalemate. Likud said Netanyahu had then telephoned Gantz, and the two men would probably meet on Wednesday, that's this coming Wednesday, with another round of talks. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is making a last effort to bring through a breakthrough in the talks about a unity government, so said Likud's spokesman. Blue and White Party said it would spare no effort to form a broad liberal unity government. Netanyahu teams up with the Orthodox Jews like the really conservative ones. I don't know if they're conservative, actually, but they're really orthodox, like really religious. And that's a source of consternation, let's say, among the liberals and even some of the nationalists. There's a nationalist guy who hates the Arabs. He's talking crap about Arabs, and pardon the C word, right? But he's used to work with Netanyahu, and then he quit. His name was Avigdor Lieberman or something like that. I'm learning this stuff as I go, right? So we'll see what happens. Israel's Attorney General is due to hold a pre-trial hearing this week on his announced intention to indict Netanyahu on fraud and bribery charges in 3 corruption cases. Netanyahu, who says he's a victim of a political witch hunt, can argue at the session against prosecution. We'll see what happens. And by the way, Hong Kong is going nuts too. They're protesting, violent protests against China. Hong Kong is owned by China. It was given back to China by Great Britain or UK, something like that. And so they're rioting. And the cops are, it's like, in my mind, it's probably 2 corrupt people fighting against each other. I don't know what the real situation is. It's hard to tell. But when the media call them pro-democracy protesters, I don't see that as a positive thing. I don't like that the media is on their side. And that's a count against them. And anyways, I don't like that they're rioting. I mean, what do? You're trying to fight for your country, right? Or for your independence? I don't know what the truth is. So anyways, let's get started with the show. I have a fun clip for you. Listen to this.
What happened in the Oval Office on that call? Was it illegal or not?
Well, we know it's not illegal. What crime was violated? Can you name one?
I'm not naming them. I'm saying others have suggested.
Nobody's naming them.
But
well, no.
It's
Instead,
not
we
about me.
have hold on, Ed.
It's not about me.
It's not illegal. The question is whether Biden did something illegal. The president didn't do anything illegal. You know how I know? Because Nancy Pelosi's been on every TV show, and she can't cite one section of the United States Code where it's illegal. My question is, why is Joe Biden above the law? Why is his son above the law? Where is Hunter Biden today? Where's the meat? Don't they want to know? Don't they want to know if the leading contender for the Democrat nomination is a crook? And if his son is a crook? Let me tell you about our president. We've had a special counsel with 2,800 subpoenas and 500 search warrants and 500 witnesses. And Ed, 13 requests to foreign governments for evidence by Mueller. We've had 4 Democrat senators. 3 wrote a letter to Ukraine and said, you damn well better help Mueller investigate Trump. 1 pressured them the other week and said, you better not investigate Biden. We know that. What do we know about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden? 0.
So you're okay with a president asking another president to dig up dirt on a candidate? You're okay with that?
He's a former vice president.
Dirt on a candidate? What dirt are you talking about?
The president of the United States. I'm not saying this was illegal, but I'm asking you, are you okay with a president asking his counterpart, this is a simple yes or no, to dig up dirt on former Vice President Joe Biden and his son? Are you okay with that?
First of all, your question is not honest. So I don't give yes or no
quote
answers
from the transcript,
Let me finish, Ed. You have all morning. I have 2 minutes. Yes. It's not an honest question. Show me in the transcript where the president said that.
Well, I don't have it in front of me, but there's a whole paragraph where he asked about Joe Biden.
Hold on. I'm really trying to talk to the American people.
He asked about Joe Biden, and the president said...
So what he asked about Joe Biden? Isn't he allowed to ask about Joe Biden?
The president said a lot of people are wondering about the former vice president and his son's business deal. That's all I'm saying. There's no hidden question there.
It's actually not the way he put it either. What you ought to do, Ed, what you ought to do is rather than restating it, put a graphic up and read it. That said,
okay, we'll do it.
What's the problem, Ed? What's the problem with it?
Interesting, huh? I like how he set that straight.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So guys, if you hate Trump, you hate America. That's how I see it, and I think that's how Trump sees it, to be honest. And I'm gonna get into that. And you can join in 888-775-3773. Have fun.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, isn't that a nice song from AJ Gallardo? Thank you, AJ. Very nice. Anthony Joseph Gallardo. I won't tell you what I paid him to make that song for me. And during the week, you can hear Trevor Wesley's rendition. Very nice. Dramatic. But all I have time to get in is, good morning, guys. And then it's very nice. But that's cool, too. And Bible Gochu guy texted me. He's all mad because he didn't realize he came in and I was a minute late starting the intro. And he thought that I had already started because I did start early, right? But I don't like to start the intro or the actual substance of my main point of the show until after the hour, right? And he's all, buses are permitted to arrive at the bus stop a little late, but never do they show up ahead of time. I tuned in purposely to hear the theme song right at 9 a.m., and you're already on. Serious breach of trust. If you can't trust Hake, whom can you trust? Question mark. And then I told him, hang tight. Because we were playing the Mark Levin. Mark Levin up there is a radio and Fox News host, I guess. And he was being interviewed by Fox and Friends people. And Ed Henry, who is a White House reporter for Fox News, was asking him the same question in the same way of all of these liberal media. Keck Radio is making fun of you, Bible Go-To guy. LOL, he mad. But you'll notice he talked about Trump was asked to dig up dirt on a political rival. And I didn't even really pick up on that sly, let's call it description. And to be honest, I would say yes, it's appropriate. Because any enemy of Trump is an enemy of America. It's appropriate for Trump to ask Ukraine to dig up dirt on a political rival, Joe Biden. Because a political rival is America's rival, Joe Biden. And Joe Biden, all he was asking him to do was to investigate. What's wrong with the little investigation, liberals? You know, because they're like, oh, if he has nothing to hide, release your tax returns about Trump. But little do they admit that any little investigation, they're going to try to cast everything that they dig up, which is probably all fine stuff, in the worst light possible. It's very obvious. So Cernovich on Twitter pointed out that Biden is not merely a political rival. He was vice president of the United States when this was an issue, when this issue came up. He was the corrupt one. He was Obama's vice president, by the way. We should investigate him based on just that. By the way, what are the origins of the phony Russia conspiracy theory? Remember that? Now they have the Ukraine conspiracy theory, where they're putting no scrutiny on Joe Biden, vice president, and all the scrutiny on Trump. And like they cast it all in the worst way possible when Trump is just being his real normal self. And Trump is not a nitpicky, wonky, by wonky I mean like all intellectual and knowledgeable. And he's not like a necessarily a rules follower. And so he just does what he sees is right to do. And sometimes they'll say, oh, you're not supposed to do that, or something like that. Or that doesn't look appropriate. Well, he doesn't care. He's fighting for the country. He's fighting hard. And for himself, but which is for the country, right? So I got that clip off of Jack Posobiec on Twitter. He tweeted it out. Thank you. That was a Fox News clip about Ukraine Gate. And I don't think that I like that guy, Ed Henry. He seems like a nice guy. I saw him get in trouble once, and it was sad, but I still like the guy. He's nice. It was nice to see and to hear it put to words that Mark Levin's like, what law did she break? Did Trump break by asking the Ukraine guy to help or let me know or keep up with the Joe Biden thing. Because it's sketchy. And the corrupt media and Democrats are investigating a political rival, right? Trump. And I didn't know this stuff, but that man pointed out, the guy, Mark Levin, he pointed out that the Democrats were asking Ukraine to investigate stuff or not investigate stuff. And, oh, by the way, I have this clip of a Trump campaign ad. Democrats are trying to steal the election. This is clip 4, kind of going in reverse order. Trump tweeted this out and wrote, "I am draining the swamp." And the swamp are not just lobbyists, liberals, and socialists, and media, and even some conservatives, and even some nationalists, I think. But the swamp is people like those rhinos who are quitting. You know, there's a lot of rhinos who are quitting, not running for re-election because they can't handle the pressure under Trump. They don't like defending his wannabe so-called racist tweets and stuff about the Democrat congresswomen of color. They can't stand that he's actually fighting to win. So here's this clip. Listen to this. It's nice.
Joe Biden promised Ukraine $1 billion if they fired the prosecutor investigating his son's company.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
But when President Trump asks Ukraine to investigate corruption, the Democrats want to impeach him, and their media lapdogs fall in line. They lost the election. Now they want to steal this one. Don't let them.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Very nice, President Trump. That was a nice campaign ad. And it is instructive. And you know who uncovered that? Was this, who uncovered that clip of Joe Biden speaking in 2018 in an on-camera, whatever that was, panel discussion? Talk about, I told them I'd withhold $1 billion if they don't, fire that guy. And, well, son of a B word. And I didn't bleep it. Please pardon me. He got fired. He's all bragging. That was uncovered by this guy who works for, I guess he works for The Hill. This investigative journalist type of a guy, maybe. He seems like I've just this morning heard of him. John Solomon. Let me just Google it just to make sure. John Solomon. He has been kind of pointing out that the Democrats and Joe Biden are not squeaky clean in this issue. And he has this headline from The Hill 2 days ago. These once secret memos cast doubt on Joe Biden's Ukraine story. And he uncovered that clip, and Trump is using it in a campaign video. Right on. And right on. John Solomon. So maybe I should have him come on Jesse's show. Anyways, I want to get to some calls, and so I appreciate it. But first, let me just quickly give you a little breakdown about Attorney General William Barr and the dishonest Associated Press. So, Drudge reports, Barr hangs tough. And so William Barr is the new Attorney General. Thank God Jeff Sessions is gone. Turned out to be kind of weak, unfortunately. AP headline, Trump blurs the line between personal lawyer and Attorney General. Because what's good for Trump is what's good for America. So Trump told Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, that was the new guy who was back in July, quote, I will have Mr. Giuliani give you a call, and I am also going to have Attorney General Barr call, and we will get to the bottom of it. That's a quote, and he's probably talking about the Joe Biden thing. I think that's what he is. That's a quote according to the memo of the call that was released by the White House this past week. But the Justice Department insists Barr wasn't made aware of of Trump's call with Zelensky until at least mid-August. Barr has not spoken with Trump about investigating Biden or Biden's son Hunter. And Trump has not asked Barr to contact the Ukrainian officials about the matter, so claims the Justice Department. Biden has also not spoken with Giuliani about anything related to Ukraine, officials said. And look at how AP puts this. Trump has sought, without evidence, they always put that, without evidence thing, to implicate the Bidens in the kind of corruption that has long plagued Ukraine. So Ukraine is known to be corrupt. Hunter Biden served on the board of a Ukrainian gas company. They were paying him like $50,000 a month, I think. At the same time that then Vice President Joe Biden was leading the Obama administration's diplomatic dealings with Ukraine. And according to that John Solomon guy on the Hill, he said something along the lines of, like a month or less, or maybe two, after Joe Biden was named by Obama or whoever as like to deal with Ukraine. It's actually during the 2016 campaigns, but Biden wasn't running back then. It was during the Obama administration when Joe Biden was vice president. He was named that, and a couple months later or less, this Ukrainian company, gas company, sought out Hunter Biden, who has probably what I've heard, he has like no experience in this type of field. To be on their board. Interesting. And so the timing raised concerns among anti-corruption advocates. And anti-corruption advocates, I would say, tend to be liberal. Yeah, maybe they have sometimes they're right, but they also tend to be liberal, I would say. There is no evidence that Hunter Biden was ever under investigation in Ukraine. There's no evidence that Trump, I'm adding this in, did anything wrong or illegal either. But AP doesn't admit that. Since becoming Attorney General in February, William Barr, Attorney General, has become one of Trump's staunchest defenders. And this is how AP puts it. He framed special counsel Robert Mueller's report in favorable terms for the president, because it was favorable for the president, even though Mueller grudgingly had to admit it. In a news conference this year, even though Mueller said he did not exonerate Trump. Dummy. So AP points out that Trump was extremely disappointed with former AG Jeff Sessions for recusing himself from heading the so-called Russia investigation. He's weak. Hard to find good help nowadays, right? And Democrats are calling for more transcripts. They want more call transcripts. So they just want to keep on meddling and poking their nose in Trump's business, in America's business. They're anti-American. Trump is pro-America. Oh, and Pelosi is all heartbroken and prayerful. I'm praying for him, for the president, which is very laughable. I'll maybe tell you more about that in a sec. But let me get you some calls. Samuel, out of Sweden, 888-775-3773. How you doing, Samuel?
Well, I'm doing well.
Right on.
And I just want to call in and thank you for the advice you gave me a couple of weeks ago. I had some questions about a girl.
Oh, okay, right on.
A woman I was interested in.
What was your question again? Can you remind me?
Well, it was...
or my advice?
I don't remember exactly what I said, but I remember you said to me that I should not try to force change reality. Try to well, I'm not English.
You're fine. What's
language?
Yeah.
But, it's like. I would try to get her interested in me. And,
okay.
You said I should just let life happen.
Yeah.
And I did that. And now we're together. Now she's my girlfriend.
Wow.
But it was when I stopped trying to get her to become my girlfriend that we,
nice.
got together.
Interesting. Right on, man. Congratulations.
So, yeah, thanks.
I guess.
So,
who knows?
The amazing thing is when you stop trying, to create things off your mind and just let life happen.
Yeah.
Things fall together in the right place.
You know what's funny? What's interesting about when guys get together with girls, and like the guys have a group of friends, and they see the guy change, and they go, whoosh, like the girl is basically telling the guy what to do, or he's like doesn't want to go out anymore or whatever. No, he's not Chinese. He's Sweden. He's Swedish. He's not English. That's why he has trouble expressing what the situation was or what my advice was. So it's just interesting how that change happens sometimes. I haven't really noticed it with Joel. He's tough. I don't know. I guess I don't hang out with Joel outside of work that much anyways. So I don't know what he's like. Anyways, I just find that interesting. I think it's a nice challenge for guys to like overcome and face and deal with. Joel will take tough.
I was going to be myself. So I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I will always be true to myself.
Yeah, keep your principles.
Yes.
Like I think one of the things that happens with me anytime I've dated is like I'll either get annoyed or I'll basically like be hiding what I really think. So I'll get annoyed and just like push them away because I'm like, okay, this is over already. Let me make it really over. Or else I'll be like, I'll like hide, which is also beta. So interesting.
I want to say the interesting thing was when I thought it would all end. I told her exactly what I thought about her. That I was in love with her.
Oh no!
And I said it when I thought that I'm ending this because she had made it clear that she wasn't interested. But I explained, when I realized that I was in love with her and that I could not be friends with her because I felt this for her. And so we parted, and some days later, she contacted me and wanted to meet up and have a dinner, and we paid for for ourselves.
That's a clever tactic.
But
so you told her that you told her that you were in love with her, but you were breaking up because it was clear that she wasn't interested.
Yeah, well, she wasn't. As she said, she wasn't in love. But now, it seems like she's in love with me because things happen.
Yeah, but man, I don't know if I would have said that that you're in love with her because
the thing was
that's right. That's rightly seen as a weakness. I was watching Gargoyles back in the 90s. In high school, this cartoon, and the bad guy has this girl that he has a crush on, and then one of the main gargoyle guys, like the monster, who's a good guy supposedly, finds out about it, and the bad guy says, "Now you know my weakness," and then the gargoyle says, "Only you would find love, think of love as a weakness." But I think that the bad guy was right. That is a weakness, interestingly.
Well, the reality is that you should always be honest. If you're
no.
Okay. Well,
hey, man.
Okay.
Yeah. One time I told before I knew that I shouldn't. One time I told a girl that I liked her. I don't think it was a good idea. But anyways.
Well.
Just
like
live and learn, right?
By the way. It seems like it worked this time.
Anthony Carrion says, "Yeah, I don't think Hake and Joel have too much in common." I don't know. We're both nice.
Okay.
Christians. All right, Samuel. Thank you, man. Good luck. Did you grow up with your both parents?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
I was a mama's boy. Yeah.
And they were divorced or never married or something?
Yeah, divorced early, and then my dad died early. So,
oh, man.
It was mud who raised me.
I don't have that excuse. But I was kind of a mama's boy, too. I went to my mother for advice well into college until I realized, I woke up one morning, I'm like, how come I'm going to my mom, not my dad? So I started going to my dad a little bit.
Did you get better advice?
That's a good question. I got less advice, which is better.
Well,
that's a really good question, man.
Okay.
Yeah, he kind of referred me. I don't know. Like sometimes he would refer me to the our pastor at the time. I don't know. It's interesting. I think he didn't really know what to do with me or us. He knew how to discipline us. That was cool. Kind of. I got spanked at 12. Okay. I resented that. That's too old to be spanked. Anyway, Samuel, very interesting. Fun. Flashbacks. Good luck, man.
Well, have a great day. And
you as well. All right. Yeah, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, man. Very interesting life. Mamma mia. Let's get back to Trump. This is too personal. So Pelosi is heartbroken and prayerful as impeachment moves forward. I really don't think that it's wise to tell girls that you like them. And it's because all the people that know better say that. And I tend to believe them. And plus, it just doesn't feel right. Sometimes it doesn't feel right, it's not right, I think. What if she says it first? Oh, and then you're supposed to say, oh, I love you too? But he said in love with her. That's not even a real thing. That's not even the right word for it. I've never liked that word, in love. But I mean, he was a mama's boy, he admitted. He didn't grow up with his father. So, like, he didn't have that. I like those old school, Jesse once told in church about those old school Asians that he and I saw on the plane one time coming from somewhere. And they'd been together for a long time, 40 years, whatever. He asked them, what's the secret to a lasting marriage or something like that? Or a successful, whatever. He asked her what the secret is. And he was quiet, but she's he knows everything about me and I don't know anything about him. I put out that excerpt again on the Bond or Building the Man channel. Check it out. It was pretty recent, in the last several weeks, I would say, that I put it out. It was from like 2016 or so, December, I think, 2016. Really nice statement. I like the old school where I know I have one friend who says that his girlfriend loves him, but he doesn't love her. And I'm like, that's how it should be. Because that's like the old school way where the man is like not all head over heels and girly about it. That's why I oftentimes say that such and such is girlfriends with such and such. Such and such guy is girlfriends with such and such gal. I've mentioned it a few times about some, like, you know, celebrity or whatever. Oh, he's girlfriends with whatever. Yeah, I've told you, and I've told you, and I've told multiple people this type of thing about, I like that type of where the guy is more detached and removed. It's kind of nice. I think the girls like that better too. Anyways, back to Pelosi. Speaking of girls, girly, why is she in office? So she's all heartbroken and prayerful. Yeah, this I think she's Catholic or something. Yeah, this woman, all prayerful. Who is she praying to? She's pro-abortion. She's a Democrat. She hates Trump. She hates America. Well, she doesn't hate Trump as much as the others do. As insane as she is, she's not as insane as the rest of them, I don't think. Either that or she's just more cunning and evil. I don't know. But she's, according to ABC News, quote, "This is a very sad time for our country. There is no joy in this." There's no joy in this, she said. I'm kind of laughing because she's taking joy in this. "We must be somber. We must be prayerful. And we must pursue the facts further to make a decision as to, did this violate the Constitution of the United States? What is she playing dumb for? She didn't read it?" Mark Levin, that guy on Fox News, by the way, is a very constitutional guy, and he has hated Trump in the past. And so for him to be taking this hard line, and look at the people who are riled over this. The liberal media, who, AP is very anti-Trump, anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-American. And they're maybe the least worst. And no, actually, they're some of the worst. And the Democrats, look at Nadler or Pelosi even, or Jerry Nadler, Fat Jerry. I think he got a lap band or something. He got some type of surgery. Maybe he got his diet better. And he's a Trump hater, long time, since before Trump took office. These guys have been in office forever. And then that other guy, Adam Schiff, he used to be my representative out of California. He's from, a little further east of LA in the suburbs. And he's representing that area, I think. These people are the scum of the earth. Why should anybody put any credence to anything that they say? So she was at the Texas Tribune Festival in Austin yesterday when she said this. And she said before, too, that she was like praying for the president. Ridiculous. I'm heartbroken about it. I'm heartbroken about it. I would have just hoped that there would be something exculpatory, something that would say, this is not what it seems to be. But that's not where we are right now. She said, I think that right now there's a cover-up of a cover-up. Yeah, that's what you guys are doing about yourselves and Joe Biden. So House Democrats on Friday subpoenaed the State Department for information related to Trump's interactions with Ukraine, including the July 25th phone call with President Volodymyr Zelensky. However, members of the Trump administration have ignored congressional subpoenas. Good. Remember when Barack Obama declared executive privilege, and so he basically shut down the investigation into Fast and Furious with Attorney General Eric Holder, the corrupt guy, the black guy who wants to brainwash you against guns, brainwash the people against guns. Eric Holder had a gun-running thing with Mexican cartel members, I think, and an American gun was used to shoot and kill an American border agent. Was that Brian Terry? I don't know, but you guys may remember it. And that was part of the Fast and Furious scandal. And so I think, as I recall, I could be wrong, but my impression of what the Fast and Furious scandal was about was they were going to use it as some type of incident as a way to brainwash the people against guns. Interesting. I don't know what the real story is with Fast and Furious because executive privilege. Obama did it, and then Obama is like, I've gone the whole whatever, my whole tenure without a single scandal. He had scandal after scandal, but the media treated it very nicely. Oh, Obama, first black liberal far-left socialist president. Yay. So that we haven't been cooperating, we being the Trump administration, the good people, the good guys, have ignored congressional subpoenas. Not everybody in the Trump administration is good. Pretty much just Trump, right? Pelosi postured more, quote, if his judges decide that Congress has no oversight over the President of the United States and that the administration does not have to respond to subpoenas, the system of checks and balances is over, Pelosi said. I have a responsibility to protect and defend the Constitution. So laughable that she would say this. She was in this position when Obama was president. She was the Speaker of the House, right? And then there's signs of discomfort among the Republicans. The first House Republican backs the inquiry, the impeachment. And there are signs of discomfort among the rhinos because they have no stomach, no spine. And a leak says that the White House restricted access to Trump's calls with Putin, the Saudi Crown Prince. Good. And Geraldo, let me play this guy for you guys. Geraldo Rivera, who's all over the place. He's a liberal. Kind of, I don't know. I would like to see him on the fallen state. He's like an emotional liberal guy. But every now and then, because he's old, I guess, he has like a little sense, kind of like Charles Barkley and all these guys. Barkley is, a black liberal, former basketball player. Now he's kind of fat. But I heard a story of him getting in trouble. But anyways, Geraldo Rivera was on Fox and Friends the other day. I guess it was the other day. I got this clip from CNN because they're like, oh, this is crazy. Why would he say this? But this is Geraldo on Fox and Friends about the so-called whistleblower. 29-1, sorry.
So it's going to be the President of the United States in a conversation that was intercepted by a rotten snitch. I'd love to whap him, but that's another story. Imagine this poor president, his whole tenure in office has been marked by snitches and rats and backstabbers. Yep. It's amazing how he functions at all.
Good point. Very good point. It's funny. I'm a little surprised at Geraldo. I love to whap him. I'm not surprised at that, but he's like, called him a rotten snitch. He called this so-called whistleblower a rotten snitch. Good. Anyways, by the way, D-Live people, as soon as you hear this, I'm going to open the chest. I'm not going to put it off because last time I put it off and then I completely forgot. So D-Live people, dlive.tv/The Hake Report. I'm going to open the chest. I'm opening it now. And I'm going to wait like 30 seconds or a minute because I don't know how long the delay exactly is. How long from what I say until you actually hear it. But in the meantime, let me read a few super chats. Hot Computer Smell says they're fighting to get Biden in harder than he's fighting for himself. He's falling apart just like Hillary. Interesting, Hot Computer Smell. He Black says Schiff has financial ties to a Ukraine arms dealer. Interesting, juicy. Who knows? CJ Connor. Thank you, CJ Connor. Says, President Trump is a hero and a legend. He's putting an end to 60 years of communist and corrupt policies. That's a very good point. And communism has been around for like 100 years, and they've been pushing that stuff. Pennsylvania Funatic says, but Trump has admitted the facts of the Ukraine scandal. Trump called it a perfect call. Yeah, it was a perfect call. And Keck Radio says, Nadler, he hungry. Did a 12-year-old spanking even hurt? Huh. I was mad. It stung. It stung. It stung. It didn't hurt. It hurt. But I was mad about it. That was what hurt. I think that was what. It's probably, I don't know at what point I became really corrupt, but because each child becomes corrupt, right? I think I became corrupt before that, though. Because you'll notice kids are like pretty free. My little brother, for example, had the most lively laugh as a kid. And then once he hit young adolescence, pretty much, or adolescence, he became more dull, subdued. Yeah, anybody would be mad getting spanked at 12. Humiliation. Even when it's not in front of anybody. But I knew and he knew. Anyways. So, he did his best. Everybody's doing their best, right? So, yeah, it was the perfect call. The facts of the Ukraine's so-called scandal, it's no scandal at all. But they're trying to pretend it is a scandal. And that's why they're casting it as the political rival thing, as opposed to the vice president of the United States at the time. And they're also talking about saying, without evidence, and it's unfounded, and stuff like that. I don't know. Keck Radio says, should we even be spanking kids because it releases bad hormones in the brain or something? I don't know. Whatever. I got to open the chest. I'm opening it now. All right. But I'm going to wait 30 more seconds. Hopefully I don't forget. I have more clips to play for you guys. Let me get to these clips because I want to show you like the inspiration of the thumbnail of my show this morning. Okay, opening it now. Click the chest. Okay, so in the meantime, lights went out on Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Drudge reports lights go out on Mayor Pete. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn them off. Okay, so let me show you a little contrast. I mean, it's nothing big deal, right? He doesn't seem that gay here, but he is homosexual. So this is a clip from CNN, number 2. It's clip 2. Buttigieg dealing with a power outage at his campaign rally in Nevada, I think it was. This is a CNN clip. Thank you, CNN. Don't copy strike me.
Justices ought to be able to retire like they used to. And
Power out. It's scary. It could be like a terror attack, but it's not. People turning on their cell phones, cell phone lights. I don't know. Mostly women in here. I don't know how you can support Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Belt it.
No, this is how you used to do politics. You just had to really protect your voice.
Nice. That part's true. They used to have to belt it. They used to have to shout. They didn't have microphones way back. And there was a guy, I was reading about somebody who can really belt, and I don't remember who it was. It might have been like MLK, or it might have been may have even been like Benjamin Franklin. No, I think Benjamin Franklin listened to such and such person and figured out how far and how many people he could speak to. Something like 10,000 people. Some speaker. I'll have to look back at that. I don't know if it was. I don't think it was Booker T. Washington. Somebody looked into it, and belting means you put in brings the man out of your voice. You speak with your chest or with your diaphragm. People talk about how like I sound like I'm in pain because I'm like running out of breath, and I don't know if it's because I'm speaking from my head. I don't know. I don't understand that stuff, but it is interesting. Like when you speak with a strong, loud voice, it's nice. So, anyways, let me show you the campaign. Trump campaign dealt with the same thing back in Atlanta in 2015 or 2016, and I have a little remix from Place Boing, a very good channel, fun channel to watch. Clip 3. Trump hates the bright lights. Here's how Trump handled it.
They were probably sent here so that we put them in our jails. Because to put them in our jails, they didn't pay the electric bill. To put them... Oh, I like that much, much better. No, get those lights off. Oh.
It's a campaign rally.
That's so much better. Those lights were brutal. Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Turn them off.
He's so bossy.
Better, right? Awesome. Don't turn them on. Don't turn the lights on. Plus, we save on electricity, right? No! Get those lights off. Oh, so much nicer. No, that's the way we have to negotiate for our country. Oh! Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn them off. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. The lights. The lights. Turn off the lights. Let's go. Ready? Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Oh, so much nicer. And because the lights didn't work, I won't pay the rent. No!
That was a long clip. I just had to share it with you, though. I liked how he's like, since the lights didn't work, I won't pay the rent, because he's a deal maker. And that's what you have to do sometimes to get people to do some things. And that's why, corrupt Ukraine, he has to get them to function. And so, of course, why is he gonna give them their money to fight Russia, which Obama didn't do, by the way. Trump did it. Obama wouldn't do it because, from what a liberal reporter, I've told you this before, said that he was concerned probably that Ukraine's movement, anti-Russian movement, has white nationalists. Oh no, white supremacists, neo-Nazis in their ranks. So Obama didn't help them. At least that's the impression that I got based on this liberal reporter's statements. It was a liberal reporter who was being interviewed by Michael Tracy, who's another liberal reporter that I like to listen to sometimes. And so Trump makes these deals talking about, hey, let us know what you find out about Biden, basically, or something like that. And we can talk and help, because the Ukrainian officials, according to John Solomon, that other reporter that I told you about from The Hill is pretty liberal too. But John Solomon seems like seems, based on my first impression of this morning, like he's an honest journalist. Said that Ukrainian officials sent an alert because they were concerned about U.S. Officials violating U.S. ethics. Interesting. So that's the difference between Mayor Pete and President Trump. It's not the whole difference. It's just a cute little, Trump is much better. Anyways, but, whatever. It's just, the CNN was just pumping up Mayor Pete. Mark from Indianapolis, Indiana. How are you doing, Mark?
Turning off the lights.
That was fun. That was funny.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
So the thing that made me call is it's kind of a biblical question I've been thinking a couple of weeks on is about fairness and if God is fair. So I'm kind of going to leave that alone. Leave that there for you. Is God fair to everyone? I think it's a good question.
I don't know. All right. Appreciate that. What's your take?
Well, I've been reading this. It's actually James Allen. It's funny your name is James as well. James Allen. I highly recommend his books. He was active from 1901 to 1912, and he was
a theologian or something.
Christian. As a Man Thinketh is the first book by him. I highly recommend it. It's a short book.
All right. What's his point?
About the mind. So how our thoughts create our reality, and so if people are constantly having these negative thoughts and are fed negative thoughts by the media and by Facebook and social media, and they're constantly thinking these negative thoughts, that appears in reality and not the other way around. So a major point is that circumstances don't make the man. The man makes the circumstances.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. There's like so many examples, for example, of self-fulfilling prophecies. For example, these the Jew blamers that call into my show. I like these guys, a lot of them sometimes. They have this narrative going that they're going to get shut down. And so they come at you, they come at a host, let's say, in a sneaky, snaky way. They'll pretend to be big fans of you. Some cases they are actually fans of you, but they'll like butter you up to like cut you down. But the cut you down part is to like exploit the host's platform to promote their ideas, which the host doesn't know about, doesn't care about, or maybe doesn't agree with everything or whatever. And it's so like exploitative when they do that it becomes that self-fulfilling prophecy where they get shut down. And same thing happens like with anything, anything that you get kind of pushy about. And a lot of times, yeah, watch out, Hake is a Jew. No, I'm white. But but I'll tell you, like anytime, kind of like with girls, you are too pushy or too like trying to, I don't know, possessive or needy or whatever, it becomes a turnoff for everybody else. Nobody wants to be around that, or nobody wants to listen to that. It happens like a lot. And then people that get into people who are like into their knowledge, which it's a temptation amongst many of us, right? It becomes a pride. They get puffed up with it, and then they try to beat people over the head with it, and then they forget to actually live. Which is kind of like, I was reading Trump. I was reading about Trump in this book that I'm reading by a very respected journalist. He should be respected anyways. That Trump was taking that question from Megyn Kelly about the woman thing. You've called women pigs and whatever, all these nasty names. Is that the type of personality that should make a president, should be a president? And he's all, I don't have time for political correctness. He comes in like with the big picture thing and then breaks down and points directly at her, saying, well, we don't have time for political correctness. What I say is what I say, and most of the time it's in fun. We have a good time. And if you don't like it, all right. I've always been very nice to you, although I could maybe not be based on how you've treated me, but I wouldn't do that. And basically, maintains this big picture thing. When he's a big picture guy. He doesn't get sucked into their intellectual stuff. The people that are into their intellectual stuff, he would get sidetracked into, because she mentioned the war on women, for example. He could have picked out anything like war on women. What war on women, right? But he didn't do that. He went into the bigger picture. Like, this country is in trouble, he pointed out. So that's
bigger picture.
That's
a good
really
way
nice.
to look at that. You just made me think of a huge realization that if you're standing next to $1 million, all the nickel and dime problems go away. Now, that $1 million is when you unite with God and look at the world in the big picture of God and Christ. That you're standing next to that $1 million, so all these petty little nickel and dime things go away because you're standing next to $1 million. You see?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. Appreciate that, Mark. Yeah, and so to answer your question, I would say yes, God is fair if fairness is real, a real value, because he's God. He can do what he wants, so it's fair. So I would say that, because who are you to judge God otherwise?
Question.
Huh?
When you started
at that point, what's the point of fairness if it's not under God? You know?
Just.
Anyways,
that's the word.
I appreciate it, Mark. Thank you, man. Take care.
Have a good one.
You too. So, shout out to the luckiest followers. I'm doing Joel's job, but this is my show, so I'm doing my job. This would be Joel's job if this were the Jesse show. Luckiest followers we opened the treasure chest. Noah's Arkansas, faithful supporter, thank you. Obadiah, faithful supporter, thank you. Super Dave, the main man of D Live. Deplorable Girl, cool girl. Tex-Mex, another cool girl. Lady, woman. You guys are women, right? See? Female listeners. So thank you guys, and congrats. And congrats to everybody else who got a little bit of lemon redistribution. We call it the Obama box. The treasure chest is a chest that fills up from D Live. These guys give me lemons, diamonds, sometimes Ninja Guineas, sometimes ice cream. They gave Jesse Ninjets. I think I might have gotten a Ninjet before. And so these things are all in the currency of Lino, which is a cryptocurrency, and it can translate to dollars. It's like 1,000 Lino for $1. 100 Lino is like a penny. Really more like 1.2 cents. So that's a nice way to support. But they take away a little bit in order to fill up the chest so you can redistribute to your followers. Redistribution of lemons. We give you the crumbs. Congrats, crumbs winners. Oh, that's why we call it the Obama box. Obama's sunken chest. It's like a pun because the sunken chest is like this. I have a non-sunken chest. Be quiet, Joel. Anyways, just a quick explanation of the D-Live situation. Shout out to Mixer, and hey, I got some watchers on Twitch. I'm on Twitch. Jesse's church is on Twitch, too. You're either mentally ill or a dishonest actor trying to find right-wing fame like most grifters and shills. It must be blissful being so ignorant, LOL. Thank you, ye shall. Wrong. It's Yam Radio. Hello. So Trump is like a really good guy? Yes. Twitch has a lot of liberals. Amazon owned Twitch. Amazon owner is Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos also bought the Washington Compost. Had tip to Mark Levin, the guy that you watched beat down and brutally beat down Ed Henry. But he was really beating down not Ed Henry, but the lies, the false posturing of Trump was trying to dig up dirt on a political rival. He didn't say dig up dirt. He said investigate. That really means dig up dirt, because if there is any dirt to be dug up, then there will be found dirt. There will be dirt dug up. Isn't that interesting? But anyways, we're also on Mixer. Thank you, Mixer. And we're on Facebook. Let's see what Facebook is saying. I really, like I said before at the very beginning of this show, Facebook is hell. I love YouTube comments. I remember hearing Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, when he was running for president. Nice guy. He's now the head of HUD, Housing and Urban Development. And I love that, because HUD has been used for redistribution of ghettos, where they take the blacks out of the ghetto and put them into middle class or upper middle class neighborhoods. And that's supposed to make them better, because you know, when you're in a ghetto, not only is your own mindset ghetto most of the time, but everybody else's mindset around you is ghetto. Crime all over the place and stuff like that. Lack of opportunity, food deserts. I'm just repeating the liberals. And so the notion is that if you redistribute these people into middle-class neighborhoods, then they'll have the opportunities and they'll thrive. But that's basically giving people free stuff. That's wrong. It's just spreading ghetto. The people who are in those neighborhoods aren't happy about it. Unless they're liberals, then they pretend to be happy until something happens. And then they're so blind that they still can't see what's going on. Social workers, same thing. They deal with all this stuff all the time. They deal with these ghetto people and their ghetto mindsets. And I have a Biden clip.
Trump Biden 4. Did you play that?
Yeah, I think I did. That was the campaign video. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've played all 5 clips. Hake, do you still have your wisdom teeth? Wow. No, I got them removed. What is a Ninja-gini? A Ninja-gini is like a Lamborghini, but it is, I'm answering Facebook questions. Ninja-gini is like a Lamborghini, but it's ninja. D-Live was made by like Japanese or something like that. I guess that's why they like these Ninja-ginis and ninjets. But Ninja-gini represents 1,000. I think it's 1,000 lino, which is a $10 tip or $12. So it's a very generous super chat. And let's see. Ashley Morris says the Democrats are a bunch of crooks. True. Pelosi needs to be fired. Horrible woman. Hello to Oklahoma. Shout out to you guys. Let's see. I played the campaign ad. I played, let's play Geraldo once more. Let me play Geraldo once more. Let me go out with Geraldo. Thank you, guys. Appreciate all the support. Sunshine Giltner says, keep up the great work, James. Thank you. We are having church on Sunday, rebuildingtheman.com/church. It is Sunday. Church at 11 in an hour. All right. But let's play Geraldo once more. He'd like to whap him.
So it's going to be the President of the United States in a conversation that was intercepted by a rotten snitch. I'd love to whap him, but that's another story. Imagine this poor president, his whole tenure in office has been marked by snitches and rats and backstabbers.
Yep.
It's amazing how he functions at all.
Yeah. Good job, Trump. And Twitch people, Twitch liberals who call me a grifter. I'm not a grifter. I'm just a host on Jesse Lee Peterson's network, which is the best network. All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you in an hour. Subscribe to Bond Rebuilding the Man. This is the last couple days to support Bond. For our campaign, right? Our building fund campaign. Thank you guys very much for the support. Go to rebuildingtheman.com and check the progress. It's done very well. Thank you guys. All right. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll see you in church. And be wise. Don't be that beta. All right, take care.